Hello everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm Jackie and I create mosaics using sea glass, and today I am sorting sea glass. So here we are, it's a miserable day in January and I can't get to the beach. It's cold out and it's snowy and miserable. So I'm going to sort this sea glass. Now typically when I collect my sea glass during the summer, I sort it as I go. I dump it all onto a board as I bring it into the cottage, and then I sort it before I even put it away. But my mother likes to take empty jars and set them on the windowsill, and she'll give me a lot of her big chunky pieces, but a lot of the small pieces she likes to put into these jars. And then she puts them on display on her windowsill, and they're quite beautiful. So on a miserable day in January in Nova Scotia, it's a lovely day to sort sea glass. So I'm going to dump out all this sea glass from these jars. So I know everybody has different strategies that they use when they're sorting sea glass, but there's a few strategies that I use when I'm sorting sea glass that really help me when it comes to doing my mosaics. So I'm going to show you some of those strategies today. Just going to take me a few minutes to dump this sea glass because these are narrow lidded jars. So these jars of sea glass sat on the windowsill at my mom and dad's cottage all summer, and they were really pretty, and as the summer went on they got fuller and fuller, and at the end of the summer my mom gave them to me. So now they've sat on my windowsill all winter long and it's time to sort them. So I have my sea glass all dumped out on the table, and the first thing I do is sort by color. So I have brown over here, and then I've got a pile of green, I've got a pile of white, I have a pile of aqua, and I have a pile of blue. I just need a little pile for my blue because I don't have a lot of blue. And the other thing I have set aside here, I've got 3 jars, one for pebbles because there's quite a few pebbles in this pile, and I'll put those in there as I find them. And I have one for, what do I have in here? I have one for pottery pieces because there's some pottery pieces in here, and I have one for shells. My mom likes to pick up anything that she sees on the beach that looks pretty, and I use a lot of that stuff in my mosaics, so she often gives that to me. So I find having those sorted into jars is really helpful as well. And the other thing that I have a baggie for throwbacks, because usually when I find a piece on the beach that's too rough, I like this one way too rough, so it goes into my bag of throwbacks. I usually will throw it back at the time, but often when I'm sorting my sea glass, I come across pieces that I've picked up that looked good when they were wet, but I get them home and they're dry, and they're like, no, I don't like that, I'm not going to keep it. These are all relatively small, they're kind of smalls and mediums, but the other thing that I do is sort according to size. So I do a major sort by color with the green, white, and brown, but I also sort by size. So I'm going to have some big green ones there or some medium green ones, and I'm going to put those in one pile and the little ones all in another pile. And then if I come across any really, really tiny ones like that, oh, I dropped it. Those are going to go in another pile as well, because I like to have those separated, and if they're all separated it makes it much easier for when it comes time to do your mosaic. So here I go, I have all my sea glass sorted. I have the whites divided into kind of mediums and smalls, green, medium, small, brown, medium, small, and I've got a pile of aqua here. And I found some milk glass pieces and a little pile of blue and kind of a neat blue something or other. And I got a little jar of pebbles, and I've got a bunch to throw back. So that'll go next time I get to the beach. Off that goes back into the water for some more time. So I find that when the sea glass is separated like this, it gives me a big head start when I'm doing my mosaics, because then when I want to fill in a section with white, I can just grab my whites, and I can either grab the medium or the small, depending on which size I'm needing for a particular area. So the other thing that I often do while I'm sorting the sea glass is I'll find pieces that kind of fit together or make little designs, like this flower. Whenever I find a bunch of triangular pieces, I'll put them together to make a flower. And because I come across a lot of really cool pieces while I'm sorting, I often play around with them quite a bit. I've done that here on this this glass, where I've taken some pieces and put them in different designs, and I know that I'm going to use those in that piece. I always have a sea glass mosaic on the go, so while I'm sorting sea glass, I can easily find pieces that kind of fit nicely and that I might use in that design. So thanks very much for joining me today. I hope this has been helpful for you and that you will have fun sorting your sea glass. Happy sea glass hunting!